Livvin. It ain't all about the money, you dummy. But if it's out here, why don't you get it? I'm not sure about you, but I feel like for a good portion of my life, a lot of my decisions could be traced back. The reasoning behind a lot of my decisions could be traced back to the idea of money. Like some shape or form, my decisions were somehow involved with the lack or abundance of money. And living, as I kind of mentioned in a video that I made before about going on a living spree from Kanye's Good Life, the song itself was really, for me, a reminder that a lot of the best things in life are free. So why not just go after those things? Why are we so obsessed, or like many of us are so obsessed with the idea of expensive things to find fulfillment and happiness in ourselves? But I think here, when it says it's not all about the money, that's just saying it's not all entirely, money is not everything, but it is something. Like, you need money to survive, or at least that's how we've been set up to kind of, live. We need money in some capacity to at least get our basic needs met. But I think once you get past those basic needs, that's where the question of how important is money. Why not go get it? You know what I mean? If it's out here, why not go get it? And that's a very, I guess, controversial question of like, why don't you go get it? It's out here. But I think the point that's missed there is, why do you need it so much? Past the needs, you know what I mean? Like, why do you need money past your basic needs? And obviously, there's so many things we want to do, but do we really need money for it? And that's a debate, obviously, that can go on forever. But I think what I really take away from this is the balance of life, of, for example, having a career or versus having a job. And that may not seem like much of a difference. It may seem like two of the same words. But I think for me, at least from what I'm doing, and even making a video like this, like, I want to have a life where everything that I do on a daily basis of like work or whatever you want to call it, work, job, career, like, I want that to be aligned with what I want to do, not doing it because I have to and for money. And that's such a hard thing to do when you're trying to live and survive. It's like those two things almost seem like, at least in the age that we're in, like, you can't survive without money. But money, like I kind of have tried to convince, I guess, you who's watching this, is not everything. So for me, money comes into play as a tool. It's no longer, I need it to a certain point, but after that certain point of being able to, I guess, have a roof over my head and what's that word called? Substance in my body for food. Do I really need money? And I think going back to the idea of a career versus like a job, I can work a job forever, but I may be so dissatisfied with that job that I never get to live. And then, therefore, for the fact that I work that job so much, I'm missing out on life. But it's out there. Why not go get the money? Because it'll bring me other things that I could potentially enjoy. But it's at the same time, you could be broke, love what you're doing, or broke, whatever you define that as, and make a great life for yourself. So it's all dependent on what your balance is and what you want it to be. Because I realize no matter how you play this life game, at the end of it, there's going to be things that you missed out on, and there's going to be things that you took advantage of. You can't get everything. Just like money isn't everything. You can't get everything in this life. So you're not dumb for not chasing money, but it's really finding your balance. Your balance may be 50-50. Your balance may be 60-40. Let's do some quick maths. But I think at the end of the day, everybody has to just be comfortable with the idea that you will never get everything. there will be sacrifices in terms of living, which is going out and just spending time with your friends and going out doing cool things that you enjoy doing versus going out there and grinding and getting that money. You know what I mean? And some people watching this, money may not even be a issue for you at this point. You may be at the point where you're still getting money from somebody else. So it's like that money is out there for you if you want to. Like you could always have more money. You could get money from your parents. You could get money from whoever takes care of you. For example, but it's money is always out there for you to get. There's an abundance of money out there, but there's also an abundance of life out there. And those two things don't always coexist. They don't have to be. Just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you're gonna make a great life for yourself. And just because you have a great life doesn't mean you'll make a lot of money. So it's one of those things you just have to find your balance and just be okay with knowing that you will not be able to do everything that you want or not get all the money you want because it's continuous. We have a limited amount of time on this earth to live and enjoy, to make money, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you have to sit down with yourself and not, I think the point I'm trying to get to is like, you have to sit down with yourself and be comfortable with your balance. It's not what somebody else tells you should be your balance. Just because somebody else tells you, yo, you gotta go get a job, work 8 hours a day, like that's what they want. What do you want? You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out what you're comfortable with in terms of your life, work-life balance. That's kind of how I look at it, because the only way to get money is you have to add value to somebody else. And that's what we call a job. We give our time to somebody else and they reward us with money for us to use it as we wish. So you have to figure out what you value and what you value only, because somebody can tell you the perfect blueprint of, oh, you should work 60% of the time and you should enjoy life 40% of the time. But if you're not okay with that, you're gonna end up at the end of your life when living is done up, and you're gonna look and say, man, I should have did a 70-30. But it's like we get so influenced by other people's opinions of what we should be doing. There's no right or wrong answer. You're not dumb for whatever answer you decide to pick, but you have to decide that for yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. So you're not a dummy if you decide to spend all your money on cars and all that stuff. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. I think we get so caught up in the idea of having a blueprint for life. There's no blueprint for life. Like, you are the contractor of your life. You have to create that blueprint. Because the way you live is not how somebody else lives or wants to live. And how you want to live is not how that other person may want to live. So you got to find out your blueprint for life. And I think realistically, if you could get to that point where you determine what your balance is of work, life, whatever you want to call that work part, at the end of the day, you can sit back and say, all right, I made the right decision and I know where I want to take myself. Because I think for me, a lot of the times I know that I can enjoy life. Like, I can be happy right now. I can choose at any point to be happy with my life. I determine that. Not the amount of money that I make, not how many vacations I've been on, not how many parties I've been to. It's like, I determine that happiness at the end of the day. And I think living for everybody else is going to have a different meaning. But once you determine your meaning of living, that's the ultimate goal, for me at least. And I think without having that determined for yourself and really getting self-sufficient with your happiness in life, you'll continue to go on a rat race of trying to find things that make you happy, which is a lot of the times kind of measured by the opinions of others. So don't let anybody tell you that your way of living is dumb. If you think it's right, that's all that matters. And obviously without harming anybody or doing anything crazy, but you gotta just be okay with, I made this decision of how I wanna live my life, and that's how I'm gonna do it. There's money out there. There's always gonna be money out there. And there's always gonna be plenty of life things that you could do for free. You could go for a hike right now and be on cloud 9. But at the end of the day, you won't be able to do everything you want to. But you can do anything you want to. You won't be able to do everything. you'll be able to do anything you want to. So keep doing what you want to do within good reason, of course. Like, obviously, don't go out there just smashing people's car mirrors and, like, you know what I'm saying? Go live life. But at the same time, there's money to help you achieve the things that you want to do. So find a balance, because you can't do one without the other, but you don't need all of one side and zero of the other. You got to find some balance that requires at least 1% of one or the other. So find that balance and stick to it. Trust your gut. Keep going.